So please, next time you buy a cotton shirt, maybe ask yourself, oh, do I really need it? Because this is the equivalent of drinking water for 2.5 years,
Hi everyone, and welcome to the podcast Fly with Mel. I usually use this podcast in order to talk about my travel and personal development with people that I meet along the way. And today I wanted to talk about a new topic, which is minimalism. And I've invited my friend Charlotte that I met here in Australia to talk about that with me. So take a seat and enjoy. The topic of today is about minimalism, so less is more, and how minimalism can change your life and all the benefits that you can have by choosing to be a minimalist. So I chose to have Charlotte today on the podcast because she's the one who talked to me a lot about this topic this year, so I'm sure she's very aware of a lot of things, and I hope she's gonna change some minds here in the podcast today. So thank you for coming here today, Shashu. So Shashu is Charlotte's shortened name. Can you just, before we start, can you just tell us a little bit more about you, just like who you are, when did you arrive in Australia, why did you choose to come here, and maybe just 3 things that define Charlotte?
Sure. First, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to be able to discuss this topic with you and to share my opinion on the subject. A little bit about me. I'm about to turn 25 in 2 weeks' time now. I arrived in Australia 2 years ago. Why this country? Because I thought that I needed some change. I wanted to try a new exciting adventure, and I had this great opportunity in Australia, in Sydney, as a business analyst. So I decided to try it, and I can tell you straight away that I don't regret my choice at all. And 3 things that define me. I really enjoy spending my time in nature and doing all sorts of outdoor activities. And I also really enjoy modern art and going to exhibitions and dancing shows. And I do love eating candies, especially the sour ones.
Okay. Thank you, Charlotte. So before we kick off, I just wanted to tell everyone what is the minimalist. So minimalism is a lifestyle about clearing the clutter from your life and adjusting your mindset, so then you can live with more purpose and peace every day. So it's not very, very new. It's something that we know since like years and years now, but it's becoming more trendy with the push towards personal awakening, and also the climate change, the fact that we want to save the planet, and a lot of other topics that we're going to define today. So can you just tell us, how do you define minimalism, Charlotte, and when did you start to be interested by it?
Well, I would say that you defined it very well, but if I had to define it myself, I would say that according to me, minimalism can be defined as a lifestyle that helps people question what things add value to their lives. It can be seen as living without an obsession with material things, but also with doing everything and doing too much. And when people can see it as sacrificing things, I really don't think this is the way you should look at it. In my opinion, minimalism really is a way to escape the excesses of the world around us and simplifying life, so there's more room for the things you truly value.
Oh,
that would be my the way I see it.
Your definition of it. That's really cool. And so how do you apply it every day in your life? Like, how do you act as a minimalist?
I'm not sure I can say that I live a true minimalist lifestyle. However, I can say that I'm trying to incorporate this mindset in my day-to-day life, and the few things that I can tell you about how I incorporate it is, for example, when I buy something, when I really want to buy something, beforehand I really ask myself the question, do I really need it? Am I really going to use it on a day-to-day basis or on a monthly basis, or is it going to be something I'm only going to use twice a year, That's going to be the questions I'm going to ask. Or it's also because it's also not only with the material, it's also as a way of doing activities. Is it really something that I need to do? Is it really gonna bring me joy to go to this special event with those special people, or is it something that I feel I need to do, in kind of pressure by others, or so
Society.
this is exactly, that's maybe, I would say that's the way I do it.
Were you an overconsumer before that? Before being interested in minimalism?
I guess I was. I've never been a true materialist. However, for sure, sometimes I would. It's really per period, I remember. Like sometimes in one day, I could spend hundreds of euros just on shopping things that I didn't really need. And one of my personality traits is that when I try something new, I would like to invest a lot about it. So, for example, if I decide to try surfing, I will buy everything for the surf. I will buy the wetsuit, the surfing, but if not even before I'm really into it, just because it's gonna give me the feeling of really being involved in this new activity. So I was definitely able to spend a lot of money for stuff that I didn't need at all. But thankfully now I'm becoming more aware about the fact that you need to maybe ask yourself the question, why do I want to buy it? Why do I think I need it? And definitely reduced a lot my consumption of goods, of unnecessary goods.
That's really good. So we're in November here in Australia, and last week we had like the Black Friday. What do you think of all these kind of events, sales events, and even like you have some special sales every month?
I would say, I'm nobody to say, oh my God, Black Friday is evil and stuff. But what I can say is that, in my opinion, it can be seen as a very big threat in terms of it's very hard to say no when you have all of those sales, on your computer, on your phone, with all like the little alerts that you're going to receive. Look at this new pair of jeans at 60% off, and you don't necessarily need it, but they're going to make you feel that you need it. Yeah. And you're going to try to start to wonder, okay, if I buy this t-shirt with this pair of jeans, it's going to be like the perfect match for this special party. It's really, I would say it's a real threat, and it's very difficult to try to control yourself when you have that many options in front of you at such a specific price, at such a low price. So this is really something that, especially in those days when you have such big sales like that, that is definitely the time when you have to ask yourself the good questions, because you're going to be tempted so much more than on a normal week, So that's really crucial. At those specific period of times to really ask yourself the good question.
Yeah, I think it's true what you said. It's just like trying to control yourself, control your mind, your brain, tell yourself that it's not controlled by the society, but a little bit. Like sometimes you have to control your decisions, and do you really need what you have in front of you? So you're saying it very, very well. So I think we have to all be careful about how we spend our time, money, because it's also time when you go shopping. It's spending a lot of time.
Yeah.
So but I think minimalism it's not just about time, saving money, saving stress and everything. It's also about the planet, right? And I know that you are very, very aware about that, and that's why I really wanted you to talk to us about that, Charlotte. How minimalism can help us save the planet today?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious, but like so the less you consume, the less you're gonna have waste, and the less you're gonna use the planet's resources. And as, for example, the demands for goods increases, then the need to produce these goods are gonna increase as well. And this leads to more pollutant emissions, increased land use and deforestation, and accelerate climate change. And waste disposal and plastic pollution in the ocean is also a major issue. And last but not least, and something that we tend to forget, is that over-consumerism also has devastating effects on water supplies as well.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when you buy a cotton shirt, that's something you might not think about, but behind this cotton shirt, there are about 2,700 liters of water that have been used.
Wow.
So if you consider that a human being is drinking 3 liters per day, there is a bit of mathematics here, but so yeah, if you think you drink 3 liters per day, this cotton shirt is the equivalent of 900 days of you drinking water. So this is the equivalent of 2.5 years of water consumption for a human being. And I'm not even talking about a pair of jeans. A pair of jeans is about 9 years of water consumption.
So you're saying that when we are buying clothes, we are in fact wasting water? It's kind of...
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And this is something we never... Because we can think... I mean, it's easier to think about, and it's also very, very important as well. You can think about the fact that when I buy a clothes, okay, I know the implication in terms of sometimes the waste problem, the fact that we have really problems with the waste disposal, and like we also know all the problems behind the factories that are rejecting those pollutants in the atmosphere. Also the problem with the fact that some countries have very low wages for the employees, and this is really something that we should consider as well. But the water usage is critical. The water usage is, and this is something we never think about.
No.
So please, next time you buy a cotton shirt, maybe ask yourself, oh, do I really need it? Because this is the equivalent of drinking water for 2.5 years, you know.
Wow, this is impressive. I wasn't aware about that, really. So thank you again, Charlotte, for sharing all of this. It's very, very interesting. And I just wanted to complete all what you said by coming from a personal development perspective. So becoming a minimalist can lead us to 6 big things to be happier and have a life more peaceful. So the first thing is, of course, reducing stress, because when you don't need to carry a lot of things, you have like a mental health and a mental weight, which is lighter, so you feel lighter every day. So it can reduce a lot of stress and anxiety in your life. The second thing is you can save a lot of time because you don't have to make a lot of choices. You have less decisions to take, so you have more time for yourself instead of overthinking about something that you want. The third thing about becoming a minimalist to have a happier life is that we can value what we have. From that, I want to say that it allows us to choose what we want to have around us. So we can choose all the things that we find beauty in, for example. So all the things around us are beautiful because we choose them. We really choose them with passion and with our heart, and we choose to have them around us. So, for example, when you build a house, when you decorate your new house, and you really choose wisely the elements that you want to put in, because you found them beautiful and they have maybe a personal history or anything, when you come into your new house, you really love it and you really feel good in your house because everything has his own place and history, and we value what we have. The fourth thing, and I love this one, is about enjoying the now. We always talk about mindfulness, living in the present moment. Don't live in your past, in your future. Just live and enjoy the now, right now. So when you don't have any distractions, when you don't have material things around you, you're focused on the present moment. So let's say you're in a restaurant with your friends, you don't have any phone on the table, your car is parked away, so you don't have any distractions. You don't have to think about where is your car. You don't have to think if you have text messages. You're just enjoying your friend and the conversation right now. And I think this is something that we're losing these days in the society.
Absolutely.
The other thing is about emotions. So when you can become a minimalist, it's about also controlling your emotional pleasure. And I'm sure, Charlotte, you will understand this one, because controlling your emotional pleasure, it's about the fact that, for example, someday you feel bored at home, or you feel that you have negative energy in your heart, or you feel drained or whatever, and you will tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna do something for me. I'm gonna go shopping and buy something and treat myself and just like buy something and be happy, and I will be happy by buying something. But by doing that, you avoid your emotion. You hide your negative emotion, you put it away, and you just buy something new. So you will be happy with it maybe for 1 day or 2. And then the negative emotion will just come back because you didn't deal with it. You didn't understand it. You didn't understand why you were bored at home. You didn't understand which gap you were feeling by buying something new. So you didn't deal with your emotions. While if you're a minimalist and you try to understand, you agree the fact that you're negative, that you're drained, that you have something bad coming into your heart, you accept that, because when you accept the emotion, you feel it fully, and you feel sad and down and whatever, and then you can just let it go. You just let the emotion go because you accepted it, you were living with it, and just let it go. So you don't have to then deal with buying something new and then coming up and down, this kind of emotional.
Yeah, that's really something that resonates a lot for me, because as someone, I have to say, I'm easily bored. This is one of my biggest problems. And I tend to think that the more things I own, the less room there will be for boredness, and I'm like, oh my God, if I have a guitar, a piano, rollerblade, a skate, a surf, I can't be bored.
Yeah.
But this is just a distraction for the real question about why am I bored? Because I don't use my time appropriately, because I don't, and this is why it's as well very difficult to go on this way of trying to live a minimalist lifestyle, because it requires you to know yourself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to ask yourself the real question, and this is something that might be very difficult for you, because you need to know, what do I love, what do I value? But I completely agree with I agree with all of your statements, but this one really resonates to me.
But yeah, it's definitely that. It's just the fact that by buying things we compensate, but we don't understand why, as you said before, why we're doing this, and
it's just pushing the problem away.
Exactly. It's just pushing the problem away, but the problem is still there because you didn't deal with it.
Yeah.
And the last thing that minimalist can bring you into your life is just to free yourself. Happiness is found in freedom, and when you're not a slave of material, you don't depend on your material things, so you're just happier. For example, if you have a new toy, let's say, and suddenly you have a scratch on it or something, I don't know, break it, you will feel super sad and super bad because it's just something that you like, it's your material, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, it's just material. It's not your health. You're not dealing with anyone who is dying in your family. It's not something in your mental health. It's just a material. So I think we have to buy wisely the thing that we want to buy, but we also have to make sure that we are not a slave of our stuff. It's very, very important to make a difference. Like, a material is just material. You can buy it again. You can choose to buy something different or something new or whatever, but it's something that you can still replace one day. While, for example, your happiness, which is found in yourself, is not something which will come back. Your time is not something which will come back. Enjoying the now and the present moment is not something which will come back. That's why it's really important to make a difference and to don't be a slave of your material. Enjoying a walk outside, going for a drink with your friends, enjoying a talk, a conversation, a deep conversation with someone new, with a stranger, whatever. This is something that you can never buy, that you can never bring back. So that's why it's really, really important to just make sure that you're buying something to just enjoy it, okay, but don't be a slave on that. Just really realize what is important for you and for your life to be happier.
Yeah, and I think this is really linked to the principle of the less you own, the less you have to lose. And sometimes having too many material things can definitely stop you from making big steps, big decisions in your life. And for example, if back then, when I had in my mind this idea of going to Australia, if I had many, many, many different material things at home, maybe I would not have make this big step into trying a new life, because I would have been kind of stuck with all my material stuff. But thankfully I just was able to move towards this new adventure, and that's something that I very value.
So it's not being stopped by your material things.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just to finish all our big conversation, and I really enjoyed it, Charlotte, thank you again for coming to the podcast today. Do you have maybe some tips that you would give us to reduce our consumption?
Oh, well, I guess there are no set rules to help you in this personal journey, and one tip that might work for you might not work for your friend. But if I was to try to give you some advice, I would say maybe first try to write down all the little things that you value in life, that brings you joy, and as well don't hesitate to review this list, because something that you value now, maybe in 2 years' time, they're going to be completely different. So don't hesitate to review this list as many times as you feel you need to. Another tip would be to really ask yourself the why before taking an action, before buying something. Why do I need it? Do I really need it? Why do I think I need it? How much am I going to really use it? Is it something that in 2 months I will still use, or is it something that I just need for the summer, for example? And finally, if you really think that you need this and you decide to finally buy it, maybe try as much as possible to buy something that will last longer, because there is nothing worse than buying something today that's maybe cheap, but that's only going to last for 2 months, and then you have to buy it again. So yeah, that would be my little tips for you, if I can say.
Thank you, Charlotte. So focus on the sustainability. I will just finish by saying that minimalism can increase our happiness and productivity, as you will now focus on the now and the essentials, and just free yourself from any stress and anxiety. Thank you again, Charlotte, for being here on the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Oh yeah, it was a real pleasure. It was my first podcast, and I definitely want to
do
other ones now.
You're gonna be famous.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Thank you again. Have a good one and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.